I am Michaela Ridgebear, and I'm here talking about Legislative Bill 872, along with my associate here, Jerica Fremont. And yeah, here we go. Legislative Bill 872 is a bill for an act relating to how schools should authorize the wearing of tribal regalia by their students. A student attending that school that meets the requirements would be authorized to wear tribal regalia to any private or public location that's either on school grounds or just general property. To continue the introduction, schools can and choose to adopt a policy to accommodate the section. For purposes of the section, tribal regalia is basically traditional garments, jewelry, other adornments, or objects of a similar nature of the cultural significance worn by the members of an indigenous tribe of the United States or another country. LB872, the three main points as to why it should be amended and is important to us. It is important for self-expression and identity for young Native youth in the Nebraskan school system. It offers the opportunity to represent one's own culture, and wearing it instills a sense of pride for one's own culture and self-expression. It's also important for self-expression and identity. Okay. This is my own story, but since I thought it related to one of our main points. So I am Native American, and I am proud to be. I graduated in 2015. My aunt had taken my graduation cap and beaded the outside edge with the school's colors of gold and black. For reasons that they didn't explain or wouldn't explain, the principal told me I could not wear it. But I looked around at my other classmates and they were wearing baggy pants and other stuff that we were told not to wear. So I wondered why my cap was the only problem. And I couldn't say anything about it. Otherwise, the principal would say I couldn't graduate. And that made me mad. And it also made me feel like it was a crime to be proud of who I am and where I came from. If it weren't for my ancestors, I wouldn't be who I am today. And yeah. Representation. Opportunities to represent one's own culture. Graduation ceremony, as my experience just explained, the student wants to be recognized as a tribal member, and there shouldn't really be a problem with wanting to be recognized as a proud tribal member. And it also gives the opportunity to learn about what different specific regalia means in relation to Native culture, like specific regalia that relates to, say, in times of joy or times of grief. Representation also sets a positive example for other Native American youth, say if life isn't that great at home or just in general, seeing that positive representation can boost up other Native American youth into setting examples and goals for themselves instead of just basically running amok. And it also sparks constructive and beneficial conversation around Native American cultures and the same issues that Native Americans face, as in not proper housing, not getting the right clothing, or being fed. And the last one would be cultural pride. And this one actually hits home for me a little more than the other points have. Cultural pride is critical to Native American youth. It's not just about the tribal clothing and the rest of the regalia. It's about a sense of belonging and knowing where you come from, knowing about your heritage and learning about it and from it. Ancestral values continue to exist and evolve through young Indigenous spirits today, like a sense of personal satisfaction and gratification that comes from winning a battle or something else. The resilience of Indigenous peoples should be appreciated, celebrated, and further cultivated despite discrimination, especially with the American school system. Here's a little thought piece at the end. If you can allow non-Native white students to wear patriotic regalia, shirts, backpacks, scarves, hats, etc., to school, then you can allow Indigenous youth to wear their culturally significant garb and regalia. Thank you for your time today.